Hey guys, welcome back to another one. Thanks for stopping by and checking out this video. Today we're going to be reviewing the American Precision Arms Little Bastard Gen 2 muzzle brake. But before we get into it, make sure you hit that like button or subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Alright, let's get into the review. So as I said, this is the American Precision Arms Gen 2 Little Bastard. This is my go-to for my 6.5 Creedmoor, and I know before you get on to me, 6.5 Creedmoor is a very mild recoiling cartridge as is. However, I do have a shoulder injury courtesy of the United States military that's still with me today, and if I'm doing any kind of prolonged shooting, heavy recoil shooting, it does start to act up. So a lot of my rifles will have a muzzle brake on them just to help with that and allow me to shoot a little bit longer and a little bit heavier cartridges. Now with that being said, I do want to point out the difference between their Gen 1 and Gen 2 before we get into this one. The Gen 1 muzzle brakes that they have are going to require a gunsmith to index. So they'll ship it to you, take it to your gunsmith, they get it on there, they get it indexed, and they're also going to taper it and make it look really clean where it looks like the muzzle brake is a part of your barrel. The Gen 2s are not going to require a gunsmith. Why don't the Gen 2s require a gunsmith? Because these are completely self-timing. What I mean is that they are a two-piece design, so you get this nut here that you can loosen or tighten, and that allows you to self-time the muzzle brake. So all you're going to do is screw on your muzzle brake. Once you get it completely screwed on there, if you don't get lucky and the ports aren't lined up on the first time, what you're going to do is back off that bigger nut, get those ports lined up, and then retighten that nut with a crescent wrench. Make sure you tighten that down to spec, and that's it. So it's easy as that. 30 seconds later you have a muzzle brake on your firearm, no gunsmith needed at all. That's one of the major selling points for me on this muzzle brake, is the fact that I can do it at home. A lot of times when I go hunting, I will take this off my 6.5 and just put the thread protector back on there and put this back in the safe. And I have to say, after 5 years of using this muzzle brake and taking it off and putting it on, it's never come loose on its own. Even when I'm out at the range, if you tighten that down with a crescent wrench, like I said, to spec, it will not come loose. I was worried about that, maybe even shifting a little bit. I've never had that issue over these last 5 years. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, as far as recoil reduction, does it reduce recoil? I can confidently say yes, it does reduce recoil. As I said, the 6.5 is very mild, but this just tames it down to a 2.23. It's almost ridiculous how light that recoil is with this brake on there. I did shoot my friend who has the same exact one on his 308, and I felt, nothing scientific, it's just something that I kind of felt, is that the 308 did have a greater reduction in recoil than the 6.5. I don't know why, but it's just something to keep in mind, that it felt like the heavier recoiling cartridges did have a better outcome with the muzzle brakes themselves. So now, as far as quality of the muzzle brake, no scratches, no marks, anything like that. The threads are still great. I mean, it's just very high quality. They are a little pricey, but I feel like this is definitely something worth what you pay for. Some things you do want to keep in mind when you with the muzzle brake in general is that, one, it's going to be loud. It's going to really be loud. When I go to the range, I always tell the person next to me, I'm just shooting a 6.5 Creedmoor, but with this muzzle brake, it's going to sound like a 300 Win Mag. So definitely be aware of that when you're at the range or you're shooting. It's going to be loud, but it's manageable. Obviously, you're wearing hearing protection, so you feel it in your chest too, just a little bit. Just keep this in mind. If you look back to the video, the intro video where you see me shooting the 6.5 Creedmoor, you'll see this muzzle brake. I'm shooting 147 grain ELX, I believe, and a lot of that air is being pushed back and down into the ground. So if you are laying prone, just be aware, if there's dirt under you, it's going to come back in your face. It's not miserable, just something to be aware of. If you have a shooting mat, it's not going to be a problem. Another thing to be aware of, obviously, is that this is not a tapered muzzle brake, so when you do put on the end of your firearm, it is a little bit big, a little bit bulky, kind of a little bit of an eyesore. If you don't like that look, then I would say go with Gen 1 and have a gunsmith do it. Pay for a gunsmith to do it. But if you want something easy on, easy off, and don't mind having that bolt stick out a little bit around your barrel, then go with the Gen 2. It does everything I could ask for and more. This little guy is outstanding. So all in all, that's the review. Not much more that could be said about a muzzle brake other than this one does reduce recoil, so if that's something you want, then I would go with this one. It is very easy to clean. I've cleaned this once in the 5 years that I've had it. It doesn't really collect too much carbon buildup, and I know that's more on the cartridge and what you're shooting it with than the muzzle brake itself. But if it does get build up, then it is really easy to clean. No issues there. The build quality is absolutely amazing. The threads are still in great shape after putting on and off for 5 years. There's no marks on it, and I bumped into quite a few things, so there's that. And it doesn't require a gunsmith. If you don't want to use a gunsmith, then I would go with the Gen 2. If you want that cleaner look, I'd go with the Gen 1. But easy put on and off and self-timing, so that is definitely a plus. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to say about this muzzle brake. If you do have questions, feel free to shoot me them in the comments below, and I will try to answer them the best of my ability. If I don't know the answer, I'll probably just direct you to the actual APA website where they probably are better suited to answer your questions. Anyways, thanks for stopping by and checking out this video. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure to hit that like or subscribe button. I hope you all have an amazing weekend, and I'll catch you on the next one. God bless.